Hey, what's up everybody? This is Osaberg501 and today I'm going to go over how you're able to level up to level 30 as quickly as possible in Outriders. Now before we get into the video, less than 5% of people that watch my videos are subscribed to my channel. So make sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with all of my uploads. And this isn't going to be a specific farm where you go somewhere and farm enemies to level up. This is going to be general tips of what you can do while playing the main campaign to level up extremely quickly to get you to the end game as fast as possible. And the first and most important part of leveling up very quickly in Outriders when you're in the main campaign is keeping the world tiers low. So if you don't know, world tiers don't really affect your XP gain at all. So you can keep yourself at world tier 1 and still get the same amount of XP as if you were sitting on world tier 5. Now going up in world tiers can help you to level up a bit quicker because you will get better gear in general, but keeping the world tiers low is still going to help you the entirety of the way because enemies are always going to be a little bit weaker than you in general. So what I would recommend doing with your world tiers is either keeping it at world tier 1 and not worrying at all about the loot you get, or doing what I do, which is when fighting harder enemies or fighting bosses, I will keep the world tier level at world tier 1. And then when I'm just fighting big groups of enemies, fights are usually easier with all these fodder enemies around, I will usually put it up to 5 so I can have a chance at getting some better loot, some higher tier loot, some higher level loot. Because if you don't know, you can just press escape and change the world tier instantly at any point you want with a single click, and it will retroactively change the power of all of the enemies. So if you're having a difficult time on an enemy or a boss, just put it down to world tier 1. If you're killing everything very easily, put the world tier up to say world tier 5 so you can get slightly better loot. And the second tip is to use the auto loot function as much as you possibly can. So if you go into the options, there is a auto loot setting in gameplay that allows you to change the rarity of the items that are auto looted. And personally, what I'll do is I just put this to the lowest possible rarity. I can auto loot absolutely everything that drops. And not only does this work for all weapon and armor pieces and resources, but it will also work for the keys that drop when killing certain enemies to unlock the next area. So say if it wants you to clear out all the enemies and then the last enemy will drop a key, which allows you to open the door to get to the next area, that will also be auto looted. And with the auto loot function on at the lowest rarity, if you end up dying at any point, it will also auto loot all resources and all items on the ground, so the items don't disappear if you're in a hard fight and end up dying. That will all be sent straight into your inventory. And also, if your inventory ends up being filled, you're not paying attention, you have tons of random loot, it fills up, it will then start to send all of the pieces you're looting directly into your stash, so you're not losing any loot, so you can go back and deconstruct out that loot for all the mods and all the resources. And the main reason to use this auto loot function is because you don't have to worry about looting everything. You never have to look at any items on the ground, you don't have to look at keys, look at resources, you just use the auto loot button, whatever that may be on console. On PC you can change it, so change it to something that's easy to use, and you can just press that button while fighting, press that button at the end of fights, auto loot everything, don't have to worry at all about running around and looking for loot, saving you a massive amount of time. And for the final tip, I'm going to put all of this together under the umbrella of your build. So first off, use your class points anytime you get them. Every class point you get can give you an incredible amount of power, letting you kill enemies quicker and just increasing your general power by a massive amount. Next, for crafting, a lot of the crafting is decently expensive and most of it is not really that worth while leveling up. The one thing that is worth is changing mods on items. It is pretty cheap and you can increase your power pretty significantly when changing a mod to something that works better for your build, or say changing to a tier 3 mod if you have any of those unlocked at this point. And for the final thing is check the vendors. Vendors can have really good loot, and more specifically at the weapon vendor, anytime I go there, the general firepower of the items I'm getting seem to be much higher than the items I currently have equipped. making a lot of these items you can go to the vendors for incredibly strong, and also keep in consideration that they can have high rarity stuff, so you could go there, possibly find some really quick epics, and also you can go back to old areas and still get loot for your level. So say if you are halfway through the main campaign, you go back to Rift Town, which is the first town that we have in the demo, those vendors will have gear at your level, so you can go back and check the different vendors in the game every once in a while, pick up some really quick loot that's very, very strong to just increase your power really quickly. So that is how you're able to very quickly level up to level 30 in Outriders. And just a side note with the world tier system, getting to level 30 and then going through the world tier tiers, unlocking the new ones and trying to get better loot once you're level 30 is going to be a much better use of your time than constantly upgrading the world tier as you're playing the main campaign for the first time, getting random leveled items that you're probably going to disassemble in a few levels. It's much easier to just get through all of that, get to level 30, and then start upgrading the world tiers so you're getting items above level 30. And also once you beat the main campaign, you can then go into your expeditions, which have a completely different system from world tiers. So subscribe if you want to see more Outriders or other videos. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about this leveling method in Outriders, and thanks for watching.
Outrider, we're almost back to your camp.
Copy. How's Jane doing?
She's barely hanging on. I'm doing what I can, but she'll make it. She has to.